I grew up in Chicago on the South Side with say multiple incarcerations during my mid 20s before I was even 21.
Mm,
And it just got to a point on my third conviction that I just really no longer wanted to live the lifestyle that I was living, but I really didn't have the tools or the understanding of where to go from there. And so that last time in prison, I decided that I would look for religion. And it started for me on a religious
mm,
path. That last time, I was just going through the Bible, reading the stories. I didn't have religion in my background as a youth. And so I remember reading John 14:12. It was Jesus in the red letters saying that very truly I tell you that not only will my disciples do the works that I've done, but they'll do greater things because I'm going to the Father. I was reading about all these miraculous works that he was doing, and I can't honestly say that I believed that to be the truth at the time. And I was in prison for the third time and sitting in a prison cell, but I did have the faith, and that faith was about the size of a mustard seed. But I remember praying. It was a diligent prayer. I felt convicted. It was like a conviction that was inside that I wasn't really living up to my potential. And I remember praying and saying, Jesus, if you are who you are, then just guide me. And there is no place I won't follow. And then that was my journey, how I began seeking these ancient practices. And so when I ended up getting out, I was going to church and staying with that routine. And it got to a point where things felt a little stagnant for me. Inside, I was feeling like it was time to get off the spiritual milk and kind of start getting some substance. And what I was feeling was God was within, that these are our temples. This is the temple of God. God is within. And that if I really wanted to make this, spiritual connection with the creator, then I needed to find ways to purify my temple. And so I went on this journey of seeking, and what came to me was yoga. And when I'm saying yoga, I'm really talking about asanas. Asanas is like the yoga practice that most people relate with. I started in a local gym. Actually, I started with a book called Rodney Yee, Moving Towards Balance. It was about an 8-week process that I was doing at home. And then I liked what I was feeling. And so I decided I wanted to do it with other people. So I went to the local Lifetime gym and started doing yoga practice there. And again, things felt a little stagnant. So I started doing more research and I found some meditations that was happening with Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra. So there were these 21-day meditations. There were a lot of different ones, but one of them was called Perfect Health. And that was the one I was trying to figure out how to rebalance the body. And I remember Deepak saying, if you want to experience perfect health, then you can come to the Chopra Center for a cleanse. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time. And I honestly didn't have the money. This was in 2012. My last prison sentence was 2010. 2012, I was going through that process. And about 2015, like I had set the desire in my heart that it was something I wanted to do, but I couldn't afford it. And so about 2015 is when I actually went out to the Chopra Center. I went with my wife now, and we went through this cleanse. It was an Ayurvedic cleanse called Panchakarma. And I didn't know what I was getting into, as I said, but it completely, that 10 days and that cleanse changed everything for me. And I found out that Deepak and Oprah was learning a lot of these things from a guy named Maharshi Mahesh Yogi. He's the founder of Transcendental Meditation, and he brought this technique over in about 1954, somewhere around then. And I decided, because I started to see results in my inner life, but also in my out and the things that I was trying to manifest, that I would take it a little more seriously. And I enrolled at Maharshi's University, International University, and started my bachelor's degree there. That's when I started TM. So again, this was about 2018 now. So a lot of seeking and different meditation techniques that went in between that time, different yoga practices, different yoga certifications. But when I found TM, things just really settled for me. And I knew at that time that I wanted to teach this to others. And so that was like the beginning of my journey.